Okie dokie. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I really want to
Oh.
know. I really want to know what you think.
Welcome to Shadow Daddy Groupies. I'm Raven.
And I'm Kelly. And today we're going to talk about Poison Daughter by Sheila Masterson. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to start us out with our 2-minute no spoiler summary. Here we go. This standalone dark romance fantasy is about Harlow, an assassin who targets Lunamede's cheating and abusive husbands with her poisonous kiss. She is also the youngest daughter of the ruling magical family and has been ordered into an arranged marriage with the son of their tentative allies that have somehow managed to return from a decade-long absence after a suspicious attack that they thought to have killed their whole city. As the political intrigue unfolds, will Harlow be able to outmaneuver and possibly kill her new husband, Henry? Will she be able to figure out his monstrous secrets while managing to not fall for him? Will he still fall for her despite her secrets and plans? Can she outwit and outlive being a pawn as so many others try to use her for their own schemes? There are plenty of dark themes, lots of spice with intense chemistry between the main characters. This is an interesting magic system as long as you don't think about it too hard and go with the flow.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah.
What
This
is that
this
face?
book. I just closed the book maybe an hour ago.
Oh, okay. All
I
right. So I told
I
you it was a long book.
yes. Yes, it was chunky. I've read 600-page books and it never took me that long, but that was chunky. That was chunky. I don't know how many words she's crammed on those pages, but man, holy shit, it was good. Okay, anyways,
Okay. You loved it?
trigger warnings. Trigger
Okay. Hold
warnings.
on.
Oh,
Okay.
I got a
Trigger
lot.
warnings.
I got a lot to say.
Okay. All right.
All
Go.
right, trigger warnings. Poisoning and lethal touch, violence and death, forced arranged engagement, family pressure and manipulation, betrayal, war, rebellion themes, emotional trauma and grief, and morally great choices. Oh, I don't know why that's all it gave me, but there is a lot
There's
of
a lot
spice.
more trigger warnings.
Spice.
Well, okay, I have to say though, from here on out, there's going to be spoilers. So if you're interested in this book, my overall suggestion is just go read it. But I think some of the trigger warnings should involve the fact that he's a fucking vampire. Did you see that coming?
I, ah. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of bodily stuff, and the spice is so nice.
It's good spice.
It's it's
It
it's Raven spice. That is Raven freaking spice all day. I was like, my God, here we go again. Another audience. Yes.
I think that's how I got you to read it. I was like,
Yes.
Raven, this book has lots of voyeurism. You probably should read
You
it.
didn't even say that. You were like, well, I just got done reading a book that I think you might like. It's got a lot of voyeurism in it. I said, done. And I started it that day. So it was Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah, you just started this book. I was like, are you going to be able to finish
It finished me.
it?
Mm. Oh my God, it was so good. Yeah, but wait. Slow down. Okay, so there are good aspects and then there are pet peeves.
Okay, do you want to talk about yours first, or should I go with mine first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when I pitched this book, I also said to Raven, the first three or so chapters are a mess.
They did nothing for me.
It was, I feel like, okay, I think what happened is there was a lot of info dumping and world building in the first three chapters. Like she was just trying to get it out of the way. And then the story really started because
Yeah,
I remember rereading like the first chapter like three times. I'm like, what is she talking about? And then I feel like I just had to kind of just almost ignore the world building and get to the plot, and then I started to kind of pick it up
I
as I went.
I just completely forgot those first three chapters, and then the world building kind of just played out throughout the story. I didn't really it everything that she said in that chapter, those chapters were blank for me, just completely blank. But once it started, oh my
Yeah,
God.
once it got going, it hooked me pretty much right away.
It uh,
But I had to get first through those first three chapters. I was like, I don't, what is going on? It was a little clunky in the beginning.
let me I will say their age would be
Yes.
nice. Would be nice if they acted like their fucking age.
Oh,
They
I thought they
acted
acted,
so no, 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 no.
you don't
These
think they acted
these
like
were
30-year-olds?
24-year-old. I was like, what? And she annoyed the piss out of me sometimes.
Hmm.
She got a little tedious and repetitive and like, just shut the fuck up. Just shut up and take it. Just shut up and take it. But
I kind
I,
of appreciated that. Um, I felt like she was a really strong female main character.
yes,
Even though she had people really trying to push her around and use her and manipulate her, she did her best to not let it happen and try to kind of like use it to her own advantage. Her parents had already arranged a marriage for her. She'd already been married before. This is her second one. And she's like, what the fuck? So she turns around and says, I'll do what you want, but I get something in return. And then she's also using her kind of like pain and trauma to help others. She becomes this assassin because of what happened to her and her sisters. She kills off her parents in the end. She's like, fuck you, and just kills them.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
whole time you're like, oh, Henry's going to be the one that kills the parents because they killed his sister and they whatever. And then she's like, sorry, I'm doing it.
I mean, the way she did it was just so lethal and so beautiful.
Yeah, it was very
Oh, her brother
yeah,
Callan. Did
karmic.
you see Callan being the rebellion
Not
leader?
really. No, I thought for sure it was going to be the bartender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it did kind of make sense once it came out that he was Rocelli.
Hmm.
But I didn't really see it coming. But when it happened, I was like, okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I am glad that she didn't kill her brother,
I'm glad he wasn't hungry.
right? Um,
I did not see any of that coming. And then I was like, oh, she didn't have the staff there. I know what's about to happen. But man, she had better grip on that than she let on.
yeah. Did okay, well also, okay, backtrack. Did you see him being a vampire coming?
That threw me off.
Okay. I think it's because I've been reading too many werewolf books, but I thought he was going to be a werewolf. 'Cause
No.
they kept talking about him being really animalistic and he kept saying, "Don't run away from me. I'm going to chase you." And I felt like that feels
And
like
she kept calling him Wolf. And
wolf.
he had a
Yeah, he
wolf. You know, I kind of see that. I kind of put that out of my head. But I will say, up until I realized that he was a vampire, I was like, well, undead and what's the other one? There's undead and
yeah,
between the dead or whatever. Or I don't.
she
Anyways, there's
well,
two of
she
them, and they seemed very. I was like, oh, well, one just has another name for it than the other, and I was like, well, maybe he's part zombie.
oh,
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
So yeah, so basically there's magical beings, there's non-magic beings. The magical beings rule everything more or less. Um, Even though there's kind of a little bit of a class war going on, it is a big part of the plot, but there's no like class war where like one main character is in one class and the other one's in the other. They're both kind of in the same class.
Yeah.
So, but they have these things that she never refers to as vampires except one time. I think she uses the word vampire once in the whole book. But there's basically these vampires and they are um like just ravenous, like like zombies. They don't have a brain. They just like go, go, go. And then there's this other class of vampire that's kind of like coming out where they have a little bit more of a thinking brain. And then there's like this other class, and that's what Henry is, where they're kind of like halfway in
So
between. They can choose to consume blood and it helps them stay strong, but they don't have to all the time and they're not ravenous about it.
and what threw me off though is it's kind of like it made it sound like zombies are what's coming in, not so much as crazed vampires. And then the class, I mean,
Mm.
it was kind of strange. I was like, all right. So when I found out, I was like, all right. So there's zombies and vampires. Fuck it.
Yeah, because he does talk about like if they bite you, then you can turn into one. So yeah, there is like this kind of like it did remind me a little bit of Juniper Unraveling, where they had zombies, and so I feel like her vampires in Poison Daughter and the zombies in Juniper Unraveling, like, and maybe it's because I read them so close together, but they
But
kind of remind me of each other.
they're all of this, all of these books that we have been reading are just cities next to each other. And think about this. I've read all of her dystopian books. So I have a whole
It's like
world map.
Carrie Lake and Sheila Masterson are just in the same world, but writing the story from a different
I have
angle.
an entire map, world map. Yep. So it was nice visiting them. Little, I mean, it
And
was,
somewhere in there is H.M. Wolf, in her city.
yeah, yeah. And her twin towers.
In her twin towers.
How
um,
fascinating. Oh my gosh. You know what? I had a really good idea, but I don't know if I want to say it on here because I don't want to even take my idea yet.
okay, we'll say it off camera then.
I'm very sad about Draven,
Which one was that?
her
I'm
bodyguard.
Oh, I know. I had mixed feelings about him through the book because especially when it came to light that he well, okay, so, we have him, we're kind of whatever, then we like him, then he fucking dies in this like kind of horrible way. He like didn't mean to kill him. And then we
Ugh,
find out that maybe he's responsible for her sister's death, or at least like a part of it.
he didn't
And then
stop
you
it.
and then you hate him, and then you realize that he didn't really know what was happening, and he was just kind of a pawn in her parents' game, and then you kind of forgive him again.
Hmm.
And that I do really like the way that she intertwined trauma and how it really kind of like affected her physically,
Hmm.
and how like um you know what is it called when you have a traumatic brain
PTSD,
injury,
TBI.
a TBI. It sounded like a lot of her symptoms kind of had to do with the fact that she like fell and hit her head, and she like a lot of her symptoms are real TBI symptoms,
I think a lot
and
of
her
it is PTSD trauma. Yeah, definitely.
and also her PTSD trauma. Okay, I made a note in my Kindle, chapter 13. I was like, I don't think her sister's really alive. And then you message me and you're like, I don't think her sister's really alive. And I
I
was like,
I knew it
that's
from the
yeah.
beginning for some reason. I had a feeling for
That very first chapter, when she's talking to her sister, and then someone shows up and she's like, oh, my sister's really good at hiding in the shadows and like disappeared. I was like, that sounds like her
hmm.
sister's not really alive.
Why is your sister hiding in the closet?
But then I got a little bit confused because her sister shows up to dinner. And then I'm thinking about it and I was like, wait, is this a sixth sense thing? Because no one talks to her sister, even though her sister's at dinner.
Yeah.
And then that got my brain going again. Around like chapter 13, I was like, she was at dinner, but no one talked to her. So yeah, she did a really good job. I saw it coming, but I still feel like she did a good job.
Yeah. What I texted you, I got to, you know what exactly what part I was at too.
I know. You were
And
like so close to like
I was
everything
like,
being
I
revealed.
was like, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, what? I'm gonna be so pissed if this is how this goes. Oh my God. And I remember I before I kept reading, I was getting in bed and I was like, I gotta text Kelly. I'm so overwhelmed. I said, I think her sister's actually dead. I think Henry can see color since their wedding. I think the
Mm.
bartender is
Ro-
broccoli.
Rocelli.
I said
I know
broccoli.
you said broccoli, and I was like, I know
I
what she
know.
means.
I'm now freaked out because her bodyguard pointed out that he has a bad feeling about her husband. I'm freaked out because what if someone is disguising themselves as Henry and the real Henry is in trouble? Only someone who didn't know her power would be dumb enough to kiss her in front of everyone, but if they weren't Henry, they would be dead. Or what if her bodyguard isn't really her bodyguard? He wasn't paying attention to her when she was having her episode, and it's very unlike him. And I was freaked out. I was having it. I was like, very good job on that. Very, very good job on that. Because
Yeah, if you like reading books where there's lots of Easter eggs and like kind of a mystery that you have to
tension,
figure out,
tension.
if you like that, you're gonna like this book. If you like sexual tension, you
Oh,
like
I
kind of
mean,
a rakish guy, Henry is for you.
the tension that the reader has reading this book and like wanting to know, like I had so the tension between me and this book when I was like, what is going on? I can't believe this. I was having like a panic attack. Anyways, I read the next chapter.
You read the next chapter and it was all revealed.
It was like the next paragraph, actually. I was like, oh, like, fuck. I let myself soak in that for a good hour.
Yeah. And it was interesting because it was a slow burn emotionally, but not necessarily physically, if that makes sense.
Ooh, my favorite part was when were in the
In the
room and
library.
no, when they tied the guy to the chair.
Yeah.
Shane.
Oh my God. Yes. I forgot about that.
Oh man, that was amazing. That was absolutely
I wonder
wonderful.
if that was the scene where I was like, Raven needs to read this book.
There's a few. There's a
Yeah,
few.
I think it might have, and it also might have been, I think they were in a library or something,
Ah,
and
that
she
didn't do it
starts
for
touching
me.
herself.
But I
No?
like when she was in the room though, and he couldn't get in. That was pretty thrilling.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but the detail, my goodness gracious. There was one, I don't know which scene it was, but there was one of them that I was like, done. Job well done.
Job well done.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was good. And then the hunt,
lots of good spice.
I was like,
And
she's gonna be a dirty little girl. She's gonna give in. She didn't
oh,
fight him.
yeah.
Didn't fight him.
Actually, that might have been the scene where I was like, Raven was gonna like this book.
And then everybody around.
Yeah, everyone watching.
Still
Mm-hmm.
not as good as when that guy was strapped to the chair and he was like,
Oh.
how do you like that? Oh my God, and he stuck her fingers in his mouth. Forgot about that. I forgot about that. Oh my God. I love remembering little tidbits.
Uh, okay. So, what would you rate
Oh,
this book out of 5 stars?
I gave it four. Um, I was the back and forth and the indecisive and the I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I want to do this and I want to do this like back and like trying to hurt each other and all this stuff.
Mm,
It got a little tedious and I got a little annoyed with it.
okay.
And I was like,
I love the political intrigue, that back and forth tension of trying to outmaneuver and like the chess game between them. I like that kind of stuff. So, I think I
I think
would
it
rate this 4.5. I think I would reread this if I didn't have something else
lights
like,
out.
is this your lights out? Is this going to be your comfort read?
I don't know. I might read it again.
I think I would do a reread on this one. I know that it's a standalone. There's not a second one coming out, which is sometimes kind of nice, you
It was
know?
very nice having a standalone. I needed
Um,
that.
but yeah, I think I would reread this again, if I was like needing something to read. I don't have anything on my TBR again.
It swells when he drinks her blood. having flashbacks. I'm a little hot. Kelly, this is great. This is like perfect for me.
Oh,
But
good. I
I'm
love
like,
when I just nail it. I love when I like find a book. I'm like, okay, Raven's gonna like this book, and you actually love it. It makes me feel so good.
he was like, bet I won't. And she
Mm,
she did. She did the
she's
divine
like, I don't think so. No one's ever
thing.
been able to do that for me. And he's like, okay, yeah, all right, let's
How do you
go.
how do you like it? And then she gets on the library table and she spreads eagle and she does her own business. This is an adult podcast. I'm gonna
They
talk about some hunching.
they break the thing with her orgasms. They have to, so they have to basically prove that
He
they're
made her climax.
that yeah, they made her that she climaxed by like touching this symbol of
Stone
this it's like a metal whatever, and it basically says, okay, you did the deed. And she came so hard that
centuries old.
their climax broke it.
And the whole room was
Did
there.
you okay, did you love his friends? I kind of liked his
I did.
friends.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
the
I
side
did.
characters were good. She wrote good side characters. I love his friends were like kind of flirting with her a little bit to like get him all angsty.
I
And
mean,
then
yeah, that was
it was
adorable.
kind of adorable. And then, I
Then the
mean, his
scene
friend's like, well,
colors,
at least you have sexual chemistry. Even
such good ones too.
though you're trying to murder each other, at least you got good sexual chemistry.
Like, how do you get in the pool completely naked and the day before you're supposed to consummate your marriage and you're just like just taking it in and you're just staring at it and it's probably up to her chest and it's right in front of her and it's how do you just I mean, that was great. That was great. It had me anxious.
It's so funny because, well, side note, I'm, like reading this other story, and I didn't quite realize that it was going to be a clean romance. And so I'm like waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I look up something and I'm like, oh, wait, this is going to be a clean romance. I'm going to be waiting for the entire book. And so I just kind of just like insert when I want to. Like, no, by now, if I was reading another book, they would have done it 5 times. So we're
Oh,
just gonna pretend they
but
already
you know
did.
what? I love this is the second book now. I don't remember the last one, but second book now that they used side characters as a little spice instead of the main characters. Like whenever Bryce and that girl and he was like bent her over and it was the
Um,
hunt. Yes.
well, you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Feather So Vicious when they watch uh in the library. That's what it
Yeah.
reminded me of. Yeah, where like the main character they're watching two other people go
Mm,
at it. Yeah. Hmm.
uh, mm, it's been a minute since I had something that really I enjoyed thoroughly.
I do feel like this podcast was very all over the place. So good
I don't
luck
care.
editing
I
this.
I I don't care. That's the fun part. Who cares? Who cares? It's the rambling. It's the
We
realness.
rambled a lot.
It's the realness of this. I don't care. Are we done?
I think we're done. I go read this book. It's great.
I'm gonna go reread a few
At least
chapters.
I'm gonna say at least a 4.5. I really like this book.
I'm gonna give it 4. I want to know what other
Okay.
people think.